Yeah, the new Gilneas.
At this
Let's see this. The new Gilneas. Because we have heard about some of these cities making a comeback in Dragonflight. Let's see.
this point, Blizzard essentially have confirmed that Gilneas will be coming back more than likely in the very
underwear
near
water in
future.
that cup.
This was mentioned in a 9.2.5 Shadowlands questline, and Blizzard, in an official blue post, pretty much said that big foreshadow events like the reconquest of Gilneas will be questlines akin to the retaking of Undercity that we did.
That's gonna be
However,
awesome.
what will this mean for the game, and what will a retaking Gilneas actually look like? Is it going to just be a never-ending scenario similar to Gnomeregan that is just stuck in time, or is this going to be a brand new city? Could a World Tree, Night Elven World Tree, be planted there? Will they remove the wall? Will the entire city be revamped? What will Gilneas look
One of those should be a channel point redemption. Damn, I should do that.
like? Just quickly before we get into the video, if you guys are into Star Wars, I'd like to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber channel, Swerock. Check it out, link is in the description below. Gilneas is one of the most important human kingdoms out there. They had a pretty significant army. They formed a colony of Kultiras that is relevant up to this day. Then Gilneas participated in the Orcish Wars. However, their leader Gen Greymane didn't really like the concept of the alliance all that much, mainly because he felt like he could actually defend himself without them. He didn't want to allocate a large part of their budget to the alliance. So after the Orcish Wars, he decided to withdraw and to just erect a massive wall, which did actually protect Gilneas for a time. However, in the long term, this proved to be a disaster. His population was infected by the Worgen curse, the cataclysm just shattered the wall, and ultimately, they had a ton of civil strife, while at the same time, they had to fend off a massive invasion of the Forsaken into their lands, which were pretty much just dead set on exterminating them. This led to the Alliance barely accepting them back. A bunch of refugees going first to the Night Elven lands, and then
I think the Alliance is
since
very
this
interesting.
point in time,
I like the Alliance
and his Gilneas had literally no home for about a decade at this point. It was always hinted that something would happen. He was just constantly out getting revenge on Sylvanas, getting every chance to attack her. But finally, in 9.2.5, after the Shadowlands ended, we got some actual confirmations that something will be happening on this front. As Undercity was retaken and the plague cleansed, the Forsaken got a new leader to replace Sylvanas, and this wasn't actually a leader, it was a council. One of the members of this council was Kalia Menetil, and we literally got a letter from her directly to Gen Greymane, where she stated that she will continue to work on withdrawing the Forsaken troops from Gilneas, but it will take some time for the undead to be receptive of her requests, as they don't really
I wonder if the Horde's gonna get to play this retaking of Gilneas questline.
This is a huge indication that there might be some big exchange of territories, and that the Horde might finally withdraw from Gilneas and return it back to the Alliance. Now, I'm not going to repeat myself, this is already old news, especially all of you that watch my videos, but at this point, more things have actually happened. First is that Kalia said that she will need some time to pass for this to happen. Well, just so conveniently, Blizzard announced a 3-year time skip after the end of Shadowlands, which is exactly what you would expect it would take for Kalia to be accepted by the Forsaken and to kind of start exerting some influence over them. Now, if this is not enough, Steve Denuser, the guy in charge of the lore, pretty much confirmed that something will be happening in the future. In a blue post, he disregarded the speculations that a huge revamp will be happening in Dragonflight, but
no cataclysm revamp.
No one actually asked him about Gilneas. He specifically decided to mention it himself, so this is what he said. As for changes to the world that have been discussed or foreshadowed, such as the resettlement of Gilneas, those will not be happening during the fast forward. As cool as it is to show locations and the populations evolving because of story progression, we want events of this importance to be in-game questing that our players experience for themselves.
I wouldn't want this to just happen in a
of the ruins of Lordaeron in the 9.2.5 update, rather than having it happen off camera. I think you can imagine that this is actually quite a hint, or this might be actually happening soon. Not only did he soft confirm that a Gilneas revamp will be happening, he also confirmed that we won't just see restored Gilneas in Dragonflight, but in fact it will more than likely be a questline, either at some point in Dragonflight or the expansion after, which might mean that this is going to be quite a chunk of future content. However, how could this actually work out, and what is a restored Gilneas going to look like? So, most importantly, as Blizzard said that this will be some sort of a questline or scenario, you can expect that we would be actually present during this process. However, the most important question is how would this actually work out in reality? Best example, and the only real example that we have in the game, is an exact
shitty
parallel to
example,
this, the retaking of Gnomrigan,
It's just
which
a constant battle
is essentially
that
just
never
a
ends.
never-ending loop. However, I don't think these compare all that well, as they kinda fell in different manners and they have to be restored in different manners as well. If you remember, gnomes just messed up and created radiation in their city, and now it is just filled with leper gnomes and it is just uninhabitable. So they went on to reconquer it and to get rid of this radiation, and
There's a
yeah,
couple
they
cities that need to be
haven't really
revamped: Silvermoon, Undercity, and Gilneas.
done much.
They all
since
need
Cataclysm.
some love.
However, who would the
Specifically
Worgen
Silvermoon,
fight in
which
order
is
to
my
beat
favorite of the
Gilneas
three,
if a
needs
similar
extra love.
scenario happened and the Forsaken actually just withdrew their troops from the kingdom? I mean, Kalia said she would withdraw the troops, and Blizzard already confirmed that there will never again be a massive faction conflict, so a new big alliance horde war is pretty much just out of the picture.
no chance.
So I can only
We have
see
cross-faction
two
now, no
actual
chance.
scenarios that could be happening. One would be a Forsaken civil war, and the other would be a relatively neutral, just cleaning up and rebuilding process of Gilneas as a kingdom. In the case of a civil war, this could be highly likely, as right now they're ruled by multiple people, and one faction might not really like the idea of returning territory they previously earned to the Alliance, which could cause a pretty big inside conflict, and we could be fighting these rebels together with Kalia and Gangreymir. Now, in the case of a restoration, this could be similar to how we cleared the plague from Undercity, as Gilneas is without a doubt blighted and in need of a huge rebuilding process, so there would be no need for some
love to play
massive
through this as a
external
scenario or
enemy,
something.
although I do think this would definitely be a bit boring and a filler questline if it is, you know, literally just us, gathering material and just assisting workers. I think that wouldn't really be all that
the Undercity questline was great.
That
It
is,
has
of
to be
course,
like
talking
that.
about the process of getting Gilneas back, but how will this actually reflect in the game? Are we just going to get a new city and a human kingdom similar to Stormwind, or are we just going to get a never-ending scenario that doesn't lead much to anywhere? The unfortunate side of the news is that Blizzard is not really all that big on allocating resources for massive rebuilding projects, and seeing that they confirmed that
They
this
care more about
retaking would
stuff
happen
happening
in
on the
real
Dragon
time,
Isle.
it is unlikely going to be a massive just whole revamp of the zone, as in it looking just completely different. The good news though is that Gilneas isn't really that much of a dump. It isn't really all that destroyed. The place definitely looks great with signs of war and destruction, but overall the architecture is still there and it could totally just work as a living city. This is definitely in stark comparison to Undercity, for example, which is literally just a bunch of ruins, which means that it would have to be made into a city, and just an entire revamp would be necessary
Undercity
if they wanted to
much
turn it into
more.
a city. However, in the case of Gilneas, all you would have to do is just remove the signs of the war, some of the damaged buildings, and voila, now you got an actual Alliance city. Unfortunately though, it is entirely possible that a city may not be inhabitable as in a traditional hub, and it could just remain in the case of just a constant, never-ending scenario. Although I do think the first example could definitely work, as in the city just getting cleaned up. Now, if we assumed this will be happening, what would Gilneas actually look like in the game? I would say more than likely the wall would just get removed, or whatever is left of
Delete
the
the
wall. There is
wall.
now an open policy
Beta is
and
up,
no
Sam.
longer just
Make your
massive
tune. Yeah, I'm about
threats or
to.
faction conflict. So
think this
we
has
would
like a minute
probably
left.
just take down the entire wall. Then
just a minute
some
and a half.
areas might get restored. There might be some signs of rebuilding projects happening with just a bunch of workers everywhere, worker ships, and most importantly, the Worgen would finally have an actual home. So Gangreymir could be back at his palace, and the Gilnean refugees would no longer be a thing. There would, without a doubt, be a bunch of Alliance presence in Gilneas with
more
a bunch
Alliance
of their weaponry,
flags.
defense systems, and realistically, this could become a new Alliance hub with a
They'd
bunch
probably
of
change
new
the Gilneas
questlines.
starting
Now,
questline
another
too.
interesting theory people
Like they
have
did for
is
the
that
Death
Gilneas
Knights.
may pay back the debt they
humans,
owe
or
to the
everybody
Vandals. If you
after
remember, they
Cataclysm.
were the only ones that accepted them and gave them their crucial assistance when they needed it most. If you may also remember, remember there were a bunch of Gilnean refugees back when Doronsmovies was a thing. Now, if the restoration of Teldrassil doesn't become
Man,
a thing
there's
in
so many
Dragon
hub
Isles,
city
as
things
many
they have to do. I
speculations
forgot about
suggest,
Doronsmovies.
maybe this could happen in Gilneas. Just think about it. There would be quite a bit of room in the New Kingdom. The Night Elves don't have a home. The Worgen lived under their tree and inside their world tree, so maybe the situation would come back full circle, and now the Worgen provide a much-needed refuge to the Night Elves, as they best know what it is like to be without a home. Overall, I would say it would be pretty
I still think the Night Elves are
going to
get their own seed planted tree.
and getting a completely new alliance city would be quite an interesting addition of content. It might even lead Blizzard to do the same for the Horde, which means even more content would be added to the game.
Sure.
Thank you for watching. Check out
All right, guys.
appear on the Dragon Isles
Ready
by
for
clicking
some
on the
beta?
screen, and check out Doran's Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.
Who's ready for some beta?